Warm blessings, everyone. If you're coming in to join in on the chat, I would like you to mute yourself. You can mute yourself until we're ready. Can you mute yourself, Naive?
Yes, knife.
Okay, so once you come in, everyone on the participants in Zoom, I will ask each one of you to, if you guys could keep yourselves muted, that'd be great. So if you guys want to come on in and join me, everybody, this is Master Shaman PaLiChee. I don't know if you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to open this. All right, so today we have a couple of things I wanted to do, and you guys could look down in there. Naive, you can also turn off your camera if you want to, please. Thank you. All right, I'm just kind of working this in. Warm blessings, Anna Moore, you're there. You're here as well in the chat, BTS. Warm blessings. Come on in to join in on, if you want to ask questions, come on in to join. And we will respond to some questions that you guys may have. Naive, if you can turn off your video, that'd be great. Yep, just click on your video. Okay, so I think you're good, Naive. Yeah, you could just turn on your mute if you wanted to ask a question.
Hello, Master Shaman PaLiChee.
Yes,
I hope you are okay tonight. My question is regarding myself. What's wrong with me?
That's a broad question. First off, I'm just gonna do a quick pull out of, you know, maybe the one thing that really shows up about you, Naive. Okay, so like maybe the main thing. All right. And I would say that one of the things that pops up for me, Naive, is it's going to be your career area. Okay. Mainly it's your career. Why? Because it's your purpose, a purpose that you haven't found yet and you're not really sure what it's about yet. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, I am between jobs right now, and this aspect concerns me very much. Yes.
Okay. So your career area is going to be number one, and this is something that you may have to find for yourself. You'll have to kind of jot down some ideas of what you really like in your life, what you really want to do since you were very young. And I'm seeing at the age of about 14 to 15 years old. So
yes,
go back to that in a meditation when you're 14, 15 years old and write some of those things, at least 3 to 5 things down. 3 to 5 things down of the things that you enjoyed doing. Okay. 3 to 5 things down that you enjoyed doing at the time, so that you can kind of go from a big perspective of the 3 to 5 things and then narrow it down some more. And then as you go through, you want to narrow that down to 2 things. And then from there, you go into the one thing that you really would enjoy doing again. Okay. So
Okay.
that's just a quick tip on kind of going and narrowing down from like a big list, 3 to 5 things. And it may not look very big, but it is big. And then you narrow it down to the one thing that you would want to do again or want to start. And maybe this is something that you've never done before, Naive, but it's something that you want to begin going forward. Does that make sense?
I will try this technique because it seems it will help me a lot.
And you may not want to write these 3 to 5. Well, first of all, you can write the 3 to 5 things and just write it on a piece of paper.
Mhm.
And then you can go into a meditation and meditate on each one at a different time each time. And then at the end, you can put a conclusion of the 2 things. You narrow it down to the 2 things that you would most enjoy. And then you narrow it down to the one thing that you would really want to do. If today was going to be your last day, Naif, what is it that
Mhm.
you would really want to do to more like improve or to change, and something that you feel purposeful in? And that is where you want to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, very much. Um,
Okay.
the I have a list of 3, 4, 5, 3 to 5 things that I enjoy doing,
Okay.
but it is a little bit confusing if I narrow it to just one, because at least 2 or 3 things that I really enjoy doing.
Yeah. So you'll have to narrow it down. Okay.
I will try.
Okay.
Master, please, do you have any kind of guided meditation in your channel?
That I would recommend you.
Yes, that you recommend. Yeah.
Um, I would say you can start with the affirmation one. It's one that I just posted. That one, and
Uh-huh.
then also there's another one. Let me see. It's the one that says for release of grief and emotional blockages.
Is it new or
Um,
something back to
no,
the last?
this was just posted on January 30th of this year.
Okay. So,
Yes. So you can look up by date.
yeah. Okay. I will use
Yeah,
both of them.
January 30th of 2023.
Okay. I will go and check. No problem.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Can I
Warm
ask
blessings,
one
night.
more question, please?
It's supposed to be one
One
question
more.
only.
Oh,
And
it- It's
I'm
a
going to
very
move on
important.
to my next topic, Navi, because I'm running on the
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll leave it for next time, okay?
Okay. No problem. Thank
All
you very
right.
much,
Thank you so much for
and
the
all the
support.
best. You deserve it. Okay.
Thank you. All
Yeah.
right. So today I wanted to talk to everybody. Um, there's just been a lot of things going on in our economy, in our emotions that's been running. And if you guys are on with me right now, why don't you take a moment and take a deep breath with me, everyone? Take a deep breath with me and just take a moment, a silent moment. Relax yourself, bodies, mind, and spirit. Give yourself the time to breathe and tune into your body, tune into your breath. And relax. And let's be present at the moment. Type in on the chat for me, Juju Chi, if you guys haven't already. Juju Chi, hashtag Juju Chi. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about emotional intelligence. On the chat, how many of you have heard what emotional intelligence is or know what it is already? I find that it's very important to more like understand what is going on with your own emotions. When you're dealing with things such as people that make mistakes, people that has to deal with things at home, but at the same time, they're also trying to deal with work, children, with maybe a divorce, right? Or parents that are not doing very well, people that are changing jobs and like Naive was in between jobs. Maybe you're going through some financial decisions that you'll need to make. Perhaps you're going through a spiritual journey that you've been going on, but then are still confused about. Perhaps it is something that is causing you a lot of emotional distress, such as dealing with maybe your teenagers or people, somebody that has gone to college, come back home, and now your living situation is changing, or grandparents that has come back to live with you, or your parents. You may be dealing with so many things in your life right now that you need to hone in on this part of your brain that will need, that you need. It's always been there, but you haven't been able to open it up and become more intelligent, right? So then sometimes your reaction is reacting with all the situations that's going on in your life. And even news, even social media things, people post things, you react to it, right? And you're not aware or conscious really of what is happening to your emotions at that moment in time until it's after the fact, right? So, the important part of us in this society, if we want to raise our vibrations, if we want to continue to, and we are going to be diverse, but if we want to continue to understand one another and work with one another, then we'll need to very much be able to understand our emotions, right? We need to have some kind of control, not control in a way where we're controlling ourselves, right? But in a way where I understand you and I have empathy for you and I understand what you're going through. And you have some sort of a consciousness to your emotions, right? Money, I saw money come in. If you want to come back in, money, so I can click you in. I'm sorry. So come on in to the chat. And also, if you want to ask the question live, then you'll need to come into Zoom to comment or question. If you just want to comment on something, just like you do on the chat, and you want to ask a question there, you can do that as well. This is open time for us to just have some sort of like a fireside chat on what is really going on in our world today. And what is really going on in my topic today is your emotions and how you're reacting, how you're maybe sometimes overreacting, right, to the things that are going on. So, economically, we've just found and saw the news, right, about the banks, the smaller local banks that just kind of went downhill. So it makes people react to that through social media, through whatever it is. But once you are reacting to that and after the fact, come back to yourself and ask yourself questions. Okay. That's one thing that you can become more intelligent is to ask the question and not to tell yourself, I'm worried, or maybe I need to do something about my money, right? You need to come back and ask yourself a question is, can I handle this? If this is happening over there somewhere in the world, in another place, region of the world, how can I respond to this, or how can I take this in my way? How do I deal with this? If you continue to ask the question, and sometimes you'll need to go into a quiet time to meditate, then somehow a response will come to your brain, right? Your mind, and you'll be able to respond to that more intelligently of what you need to do. The decision that you get to make will become more intelligent once you get a chance, not really to think about it, but really to observe what the response should be. This is meditation, okay? So, our emotional intelligence is what we need to function in a world of so much social media, so much judgments on ourselves, and then other people compiling on top of that, right? And then you've got physical people and then social media people, right? Social media friends, so, physical family and friends in the waking life here while you're actually seeing and talking to them on a daily basis or on a monthly basis or whatever, however frequently. And you'll have to deal with those emotions as well. So, one thing that I want to give away today is to build your empathy, to build the empathy. And if you have overly too much empathy, then you're going to want to balance that empathy, right? If you're empathizing with people, feeling what they're feeling, and you're letting them run your emotions wild, and you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm feeling what they're feeling, so I don't want to feel it anymore. It's causing me too much drainage, right? Draining my energy. Therefore, I don't want to really hang around people anymore because it drains too much energy. So if you're telling yourself, I'm being drained so much because of other people's energy, that means you need to spend more time meditating, not spend more time alone. You still need that touch, that socialness. You still need to talk with people. So don't close your doors and just completely be alone. But if that's what it takes, but you'll need to come back out and don't take too long. You need to balance that, right? And by you being willing to take the time to meditate, this is also sort of, people think of it as self-reflection time, but self-reflection time, the difference between self-reflection time and meditation, there's a difference. Self-reflection time means you go and reflect on situations or your own behavior, your own emotions that you maybe have overreacted or underreacted. You go and self reflect and you think and you let it run through your mind and you think about it. This is thinking, this is analysis time, right? Self reflection. But meditation time, if you give yourself that time, that is actually a time where you don't think, where you're not letting any thoughts run into your mind that you are initiating, but you're just going to be simply sitting there and letting things come through your mind to observe it. Perhaps you need music to help you, right? I've suggested several times to people that need a harp music or guitar music, or perhaps they need flute music. And there's various different types of flute, right? You got different culture flutes. You've got different culture instruments that you need to listen to, and it's only going to be working for certain people. Not everybody works with every instrument that you can hear, right? Maybe you are not really drawn to a certain instrument, right? Maybe you need to listen to drumming, right? So, an instrument that you are drawn to is going to help you get into a meditation. These instrumental music, I call it anything musical, sound wise, I call it the key through the gateway. It is the key through the gateway. Why? Because it leads your mind to see and observe. So, by knowing your key to the gateway, and sometimes it's not sound, but sometimes it could be, and sound can help you in so many various ways. If you are able to use sound and be okay with it, then it could be your key to your gateway here in your mind so that you can be able to see, be able to see as in see with your mind, and be able to observe. And then once you're able to do that on a consistent basis, then you start to be able to emotionally be intelligent. You start to be able to tell and be conscious of your own reactions or underreaction, right? Or overreaction. You also start to understand you yourself better. And then once you do that, you start to understand other people better as well, or vice versa. Sometimes it takes you to understand someone better, and then you understand yourself because it's so hard to see yourself. It's so hard to and difficult to see your how you are or who you are and how you've been, your reactions. Until you see someone else react to someone else, a third party, then you start to notice that, oh, you maybe you did that once or twice, or maybe you do it all the time. And once you start to be conscious about this and conscientious about how you're doing it, your behavior, your attitude, how you're feeling about somebody, or how you're feeling about a situation, right? Various situations, then you start to be able to be conscious, and then you start to be able to have intelligence in your mind. This building of empathy is something that is very needed in all of us in the future, the very near future, even now as I speak. And it needs to be managed once you build it. Otherwise, then your emotions are going to go all over the place. For example, if someone tells you, we're going to get a divorce today, right? Your spouse, your partner, whatever, we're going to break up today. I'm leaving you. Then how do you handle that emotion? Do you start to, like, the world start to tumble down? Or are you okay with it? Or does it take a while? And if it's a surprise, it's going to take a while. If you've had a lot of investment in your emotions into this relationship, and someone tells you, I want a divorce today, then you're going to obviously feel very emotional about it. But to not be at the end or the end of like the depths of your emotional self where you cannot handle it, then you'll need to find a way how to cope with it. And I find that meditation helps the best. Okay. That's just for me. I cannot say that for everybody. But meditation, connecting to and observing to a higher intelligence will help you to get some kind of control and understanding of why things happen the way they did. Okay. And then also, number two, understanding. You start to get control and then you start to understand, right? Like I just said, you start to have this understanding, and that's going to be through compassion and love. Because when someone starts to understand you, what are they throwing at you? Compassion and love. Though you may not feel it or they may not even notice, It's really because they are having compassion. So they start to understand. They understand you, they understand your behavior, they're understanding the situation, they understand what is going on. They're giving you that love and compassion. Okay. And you need to do the same. If you're the one that's giving that love and compassion, then you know how that's feeling, right? You know you're giving that away in order to understand the situation. And then lastly, forgive. You need to be able to forgive so that you're not holding this grudge or holding this thing, anger, within your heart that is going to hurt you in the long run, right? You don't notice it right away, but it's actually closing your doors, narrowing your road, and it's not going to help you in the long run because you will still carry that anger with you. Now, sometimes it's very minimum, sometimes it's very vast or very major, right? And it affects every part of your life. Other times, this forgiveness, maybe you have forgiven them a lot, but not fully, or you forgive them 50%, but not the other 50. So it's not saying that you will need to do this right away, 100%. You're human. You cannot fully do that unless you've been enlightened, right? Unless you've been going through a ton of self-help, self meditation, or someone has done healing with you or for you, then you start to have a higher or a better speed of recovery, right? And forgive. But if you haven't, it's going to go slowly, very slowly, like 25%, 50%, and then you're kind of forgiving more. And as time goes by and you start to learn things in your life and you go maybe go through karmic situations, then you start to learn some more and you start to forgive more and you start to understand why the person was the way they were. And then you start to forgive some more. And then it goes into 75% and then 95% maybe. Or sometimes it just stops at a certain percentage. What you want to really do is continue to keep going on the forgiveness. And once and some are going to be slower speed and some are going to be faster speed, just like the learning curve, depending on how much you have learned humbly, not just learned, but how much you have learned with humbleness in your life. And if you can forgive faster, then you will be faster learning in this lifetime that you exist. Therefore, perhaps that is in the purpose. So then you're doing your purpose to get there. And to get there means you have forgiven at a higher frequency or at a higher vibration, right? And you are learning faster, you're more intelligent, and you're able to grasp this this whole concept of existence so that your soul can kind of live at peace most times, right? There's going to be those days. That's understandable. But mostly you're content. And that's what everybody looks for is being content. Once your heart unifies with your mind, then you start to become content because that is forgiveness that you're exuding out to whoever it is and the universe. I hope that all makes sense to you all. Let me know if you have any questions. Come in on to the Zoom, click on the link. If you go all the way up on the chat, there's a link to come in onto the Zoom live. The link is there. So if you have any questions, but this is what I wanted to talk about today is to discuss emotional intelligence and what it can do for you. Once you start to build this emotional intelligence, once you start to um, really understand how to manage it, that's going to be one of the key points in sustaining yourself and helping you to boost your humanistic self, right? And in this lifetime, the goal is really to grow your vibration to the highest vibration that you can be. Therefore, that's just another way of saying become more enlightened, right? Become more intelligent and sophisticated. Once you can do that, your heart, your mind is going to be right there. And the compassion, the kindness will spread from one person to the other person. That's all it takes is one candlelight to light. If one candlelight can be lit, then the rest will follow. And that is the faith of that, right? The faith of having that one candlelight. If you guys don't have any questions for me, and if you do, let me know now. Warm blessings, Dora, Susan, Mashache, Mary, BTS, Anna. If you guys haven't already, go like and subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, this is Master Shaman PaLiChee with PaLiChee Healing. Come on in and join me. I know someone named Money came in and I did not see her, so I wasn't able to click her in. But if you want to come on in and join me now, I'm going to be leaving in a bit here. Come on in. All of you that are in the chat, Money, you can come on in, back in. The Zoom link is at the very top of the chat. If you guys come into the Zoom, if you guys can do me a favor to just mute yourself until I call on you. Farah is in the chat. I'm just gonna call on Farah so I can not waste any more time. Farah, you can come in. Farah. I'm just gonna grab my cards here and get ready for our weekend card. But it's a one question, or if you want me to just pull a card, it's a free one card pull. Come on in. This is Ask Master Shaman PaLiChee. If you guys are new to the channel, thank you so much for everybody that is here and supporting the channel or is watching. And if I also have my donation button out there as well. The link is underneath in the description. If you guys can donate, that would be great to the channel and keep me going. Farah, if you're ready, you can come on in. Otherwise, I'm going to skip and go to, let's see.
Hi, Master Shaman PaLiChee. I'm here, but I don't have a question.
Okay.
But I'm here. Thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you for coming into the Zoom live with me.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I guess I have been thinking about things, but what you've just shared right now actually speaks to what I've been experiencing and going through. So it's been very helpful. Thank you.
Well, good. I'm liking this synchronicity, like always.
Yes, yes.
All right. Money looks like she's getting connected via audio. Money, if you can hear me, you can go on, come on in and ask your question, or if you let me know what you need, or if there's anything that you want to comment. Money, if you want to unmute yourself. Maybe she's finding a way. While Money is doing that, I wanted to give like sort of a a quote here. So I want to say, when in doubt, forgive first. The rest will follow. So when you're in doubt and you're thinking to yourself, I don't really know if I can forgive somebody. And you're telling yourself, I don't think that I can forgive this person at all, or it's going to be really hard to forgive this person. Say that to yourself, but then also turn around and be intelligent about it. And then ask yourself the question, can I forgive this person? Should I forgive this person? How can I forgive this person? Right? And when you ask yourself this question and when you question yourself, your mind starts to open up something inside. There's like this little click inside, and it starts to open up sort of like the gateway, and ideas start to flow in. And then I also say, if you go deeper into observing, then your pure thoughts starts to come in. And a pure thought is something that you don't control to come in. You're not initiating this thought to come in at all. It is something that just pops up in your mind. Like whenever you get like that bright idea or this light bulb starts to pop in your mind, or you get this drop of wisdom, and you're like, where did that come from? Did I think of that? No, because that's a pure thought. That's a that's also another words for it is that's your conscious mind that just opened up, right? So when you're in doubt, if you should or shouldn't forgive somebody, ask yourself, can I forgive this person? Should I forgive this person? And don't respond to that like you initiate the response, but just sit there and observe why or how you can do this forgiveness. Okay? Because this is part of becoming more emotionally intelligent. You'll need this at the workplace. Like I said, you'll need this in a relationship. Whenever things kind of go and run wild a little bit, you'll need this when you're communicating with your parents. You'll need this when there's grief, when someone passes on. For example, just this week, I just heard that one of my close nephews had passed away. It's been made more publicly, so I'm okay to say it. But very young still, and just suddenly passing away. You hear this. And then a month ago, it was somebody else that was also close. And you just don't understand, right? Most people just don't understand what happened. And they'll feel sad, they'll feel confused, they'll feel frustrated, they'll feel all these emotions coming through and just kind of jumbling through in the brain, in the mind, all at once. And if that person was close to you, you're going to not be very stable, right? So when you have emotional intelligence, it's not that you are, how do I say it, a stone, right? It's not that you are being like a stone and you have no emotions. You do have emotions and you will cry. You will be angry or you will be frustrated, right? But you will understand why you are. You will understand. You will have some kind of intelligence on why it happened, right? If you sit with yourself and observe, you will understand what was going through that person's mind at the point of transition, right? At the point of crossing over, at the point of did they decide that they were going to go, or did somebody else decide for them? Or was it something else, right? Was it something else bigger than them? So once you quiet yourself and know life and death, and that's something that is connected, then you will start to understand really the karmic effects of the situation or of the person or even of yourself, or perhaps it was something else totally. We call it their luck or their fortune, destiny, right? If you guys haven't already, go watch Destiny 101, okay? That's on the channel. But first, you must forgive. You must learn to forgive, like the very first instinct of yourself is love, compassion, forgive. Love, compassion, forgive. Then you start to be more emotionally intelligent. That's the kicker today. Did you guys have any last questions? Since there's a couple of you, but I'm going to close in on the show today. Money, did you have anything you wanted to say or ask? And you can unmute yourself to come on in and just and if you don't and you're just on here on Zoom with me, thank you. And then for those of you that are on the chat with me, warm blessings. Mary Thal says, kind of shy today.
Okay. So.
And I think Sue, you just came in. If you want to ask a question, unmute yourself, Sue.
There's some questions in the chat as well, I think.
Okay, let's see. Thank you so much, Sarah. Or can I say Farah? For some reason, let's see if I can see the questions. My questions are not updating for me. So you'll have to come onto Zoom to ask your question, okay? My eyes are not on the chat right now at this moment.
Okay, maybe I can ask a question if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So there is someone on my mind, and I am just wondering if the person that I'm feeling something towards also feels something towards me. And since you're talking about emotional intelligence, perhaps what emotional intelligence do I require with this person I keep thinking about?
So I'm going to limit to one question, Farah.
Sure.
And I'm going to just kind of take a look at the yes or no if this person is for you. I'm going to pull out a card here. Take a deep breath with me, Farah, and all those of you that are here. So it feels good. The first thing, the card confirms it. It feels very on a high friendship level here initially. Okay, I hope that's good news.
Yes, thank you.
That's good news for you. It's a very I would say that this can become a very high friendship level, very connected and very partnership level. Okay, so that's where I want to stop. All right.
Thank you so much. Warm blessings.
Yes, warm blessings. All right. So Sue and Money, you guys came in. Sue, did you have a question to ask or a request?
I have lots of questions, but if you're okay with me asking a question, I would love to do that.
Sure.
I'm entangled in a strange legal situation with someone who I'm really barely know. And this has been dragging on for 3 years and it's just flaring up again. And I'm struggling to figure out what, what am I supposed to learn from this?
Hmm. And that might be more of a deeper question to explore. But I will give you kind of like the short answer on this show today. The number one thing that came to mind was you cannot let it drag further. Okay, so you have to find the action items to do for that. But I'm going to pull out a card. So, Sue, one thing that is coming to mind in what the karmic lesson, okay, is going to be how to trust, or can you trust is the question. Can you trust more like yourself and then the people that are around you? There was something that happened prior to this person that's not related to you. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So prior to that person not related to you, there was something else that occurred between you and someone that you knew, and it was about trust or betrayal, if that makes sense to you. And it has to do. This lesson has more to do about the trusting of self, trusting in your intuition, trusting in what you feel, and believing in that, not doubting you, and then also trusting in maybe the people, relationships, trusting in having relationships. Does that make sense?
Hmm,
And it
maybe.
has to do with communication style. Okay.
Okay.
If that makes any sense to you.
Okay. Communication style.
Yeah. Because the karmic energy that's flowing here is staggering on the trust issue.
Okay.
Okay. Trust issues in this lifetime. Now, sometimes it can be, if we have a deeper look into past lives, it can be a trust issue in other lifetimes as well. That between you and this person, the relationship that you've had, okay, together in a different lifetime. All right.
Okay.
And sometimes that is typically the case. All right. Um, but to say that there will be also times that it's not the case and it's somebody that's totally new, then now you just they came into your life because you have to know this trust, sort of like this feeling of trusting or not trusting somebody that is. And again, prior to this situation, something happened within either family or more closer relationship circle that
Okay.
caused this to then occur from the outside, if that makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
So that's where it's headed, that's where it went. It's heading into something more of, can you also stand up for yourself?
Okay.
Makes sense?
Okay. Makes sense.
Because prior to that, that situation, you were not able to
Okay.
stand up for yourself. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So I hope that was helpful for you, Sue. But your energy right now is slowly climbing back up into a more positivity energy than like 3 years ago. But what you need to do is take the necessary physical or waking life steps to take care of the situation so it doesn't continue to occur. Okay.
Okay.
And that's legally. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to stop here because my time is ending and I need to get going. But I'm going to pull out a card for the weekend. And I hope you guys understand, or you guys can go rewatch kind of what we were talking about today about emotional intelligence in general. But the three things that you could do to summarize that is to build empathy for others, to build empathy for others through meditation, through a willingness to observe and not say, I'm going to initiate the thought. Let me think about it. Okay. You're going to quiet your mind, go into your center, use music to help you if you need, or you can do silent meditation where you go into self, right? Maybe you can go try the other meditations that I have out there or just affirmations that I have out there on the videos and just close eyes and see what you can observe. And then number two is to understand, start to understand what is going on, right? Because you're using love and compassion. Remember, when in doubt, forgive first, then the rest will follow, right? And then you can also, at the number three, forgive, right? To truly forgive or begin to forgive if you're at like the very tip of forgiving, or find a way to heal so that you can forgive, okay? So that your emotional intelligence starts to come in more and more and more and more, so that the coverage of emotional intelligence is actually at its height within your mind as you exist in this lifetime, because you're going to need it as the world turns, as all these things economically, financially, relationship wise, career wise, starts to change on you or you change on it, your health, perhaps, somebody else that you know that was very close to you, something changes, their life, perhaps, and you need this emotional intelligence in general to help you move forward, to help you cope with things. And not just coping as in finding something to cover you like a band aid, but to truly heal from the situations that you are going through. Okay. Weekend card. Everyone, smile for me as we move out of this conversation for the weekend card. And I don't even want to say weekend, right? Because it is the week still. Because it seems like if you think about it, if we didn't have a calendar, it'd be just another day or other days to come, right? So take a deep breath as I pull out the card. Those of you that have asked questions in the chat, forgive me, but I can't double do. So you'll need to come in on the Zoom link to ask live. Okay, so the card that we've got today, the golden children. You guys are all golden children. Your inner child. This is what the card says. Your inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. For those of you that are listening, that are on, and those of you that will come on at a later different time and date, understand as this spirit message comes in, for you to connect with yourself in the coming days, relate back to this inner part that is natural, that was always there. Relate back through observing first your memories, then beyond that, your original inner child is within yourself, was always there. Understand that you have an emotional part of you that is yet to be discovered, but humbly understood. Connect with yourself again through forgiveness, through this compassion that lies inside, that is wide, that is vast. Take a deep breath, everyone. Warm blessings to all of you in the next coming days. Connect with me through TikTok. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't so that you can know when I come on. I have no clue when I'm prompted to come on, like today. So connect with me there. I'm also on Facebook as Master Shaman PaLiChee, same as here on YouTube on the channel. If you haven't been here already or yet, this is Master Shaman PaLiChee with Bali Be Healing. And remember that a very important part of you in this lifetime is your past lives. Once you understand your past lives, and once you can dive in through the Akashic records with me to knowing what these past lives were and why and who, then you'll start to know how in this lifetime. Warm blessings, and we'll talk to you guys and gals